Hey, welcome to part two of Good Morning Gwinnett. Listen, y'all know I be all over the place on some Thursday. So today is Spotlight Thursday. I'm happy to have my guest back. She's been with me before. I gotta tell y'all a quick story, and I won't talk too much because I want to make sure that she talked to you about what we brought you here to talk to her about. So when we talked last time, I had just lost my mom to the pandemic, and it was very stressful. I don't even remember, honestly, Glendora. I was in such a bad space. I don't even remember what we talked about. But she said to me, we talked about grief, which I'm sure that could have been true because I was grieving really bad, and I still do suffer with that from now and again when I think about my mama because we were really close. Like literally, her bedroom was across the hall from mine, and we did a daily breakfast together every day after I finished the show. I would go upstairs and we'd have breakfast. So I was in a crazy space, but I'm glad to have her back. And she has some amazing things she want to share with you because she is a telehealth and mental health professional. And right now, we need a lot of that. It's to the point where I don't even want to say anything to anybody because people are just on edge all the time and they do the craziest things. I was just talking to one of my friends and he was driving and I said, don't say anything to him. You can't say anything to anybody. But I know today we're here to talk about how you can help mental health professionals scale their businesses and make the money that they need to make. I have a young lady, she's a mental health professional and she was trying to figure, and I need to introduce you guys because she was kind of struggling. She was trying to figure out how to do coaching. And I'm like, well, but you're a mental health professional. Do you need to do coaching? So tell people about who you are and what you do.
Okay, I am I am Glendora Dvine. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm board certified in telemental health. I specialize in CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, and EMDR. All right, and so both of those are therapies that's really trying to help you focus on anxiety, get heal from anxiety, depression, and those type of and trauma. And so what you were saying about the grief, it is very hard when we lose our parents. I lost my father 2 years ago, and I still struggle with that too, Audrey. So, when I see a picture of my brother call me and speak about him, I have moments at times too. So as still here living, we're going to always miss them. We're going to always, have those moments. But I try and be mindful and do things that my dad seen me do and know that I was doing before he passed and that he told me that he was proud of. So I just try and stay busy doing those things. And that's the way I feel like I'm honoring him because he knew what I was doing before he left. And he honestly told me that he was proud of me for what I was doing. And so that is why, I'm here today and I reached back out to you because this is what he knew that I was doing. And I remember him coming on Facebook, watching me on my lives, and he'd be like, oh, I seen you on your live. So doing those type of things, honestly helped me honor his spirit. So whatever you were doing with your mom, you had breakfast with her on a daily thing. When you finished your show, then you're supposed to continue your show. And then after your show, eat breakfast at that point in honor of her. That's what y'all did. Don't break your tradition and to keep her legacy alive and her memory alive and what what you knew she was proud of you doing. You see?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. You know what's crazy is and I didn't know she listened to the show every morning. My daughter told me after she passed away, she's like, Nana, listen to your show every morning. I was like, she did, because I didn't know. I thought she was watching the news because she liked the news, but that I will always honor my mom because she was my bestest friend. And like the little kids, my bestest friend. She was my bestest friend. And she told me one time, she said, I did a little survey of all my friends. I said, if you had to say one thing about me, what would you say my strength would be? And my mom took and said, the way you think about things. And I was like, wow, to me, that was so powerful. So I think about all that stuff all the time. But anyway, let's talk about how you help professionals in this space grow their businesses and scale, because I think that there are a lot of people who may want to get into the industry, but they don't know how to scale. Also, I've heard people say, you know what, I don't want to take insurance from people. I met a therapist before about 2 years ago, and she was very adamant about not taking insurance. And so I'm like, well, how do you grow your business when you don't take? Because in my mind, I'm thinking they be taxing insurance people. They tax us as patients. How do
They
you grow
do.
your business without taking insurance? And she's like, I refuse to do it. So talk to the people about your program and how you help women, not just women, how you help therapists scale their business.
Okay, so I am a licensed professional counselor and I'm also a business coach to mental health clinicians. So if that's you, yes, I am talking to you. What I do is honestly, I've been in the business for over 12 years. I've been doing telemental health since 2014. So way before the pandemic, I was already doing telemental health with my clients in my private practice. And so when the pandemic hit, a lot of people came into private practice. And so, it was I have a coach myself, and she was like, Glendora, you really need to teach these therapists how to do this job, how to run a real business. You have a real business. So with that being said, listening to my coach, I decided to go ahead and embrace on what she was asking. So what I really do is help therapists, whether you already been in business, where you just starting off in business. I help you infuse what you already have. I help you honestly build it, scale it, and grow it. When we went to school, they did not teach us how to run a business. They really taught us about taking care of people. And that is something that we do with expertise. We specialize in that. And we can close our eyes and we know what to do without even thinking about what to tell this person, because we literally was trained in that. But when it comes to running your business and understand how to grow your business and not focusing on just seeing clients alone, or trying to focus on how to get more money into your practice, or not deal with insurance companies, it's a tough deal. And a lot of times we often feel like we're by ourselves when you're starting your own business, because 9 times out of 10, you're probably the first one in your family has stepped out and started your own business, especially if you're African American, or you stepped out and trying to do a legit business. You're not hustling. You don't want to hustle. You don't want to do no cuts. You want to go straight forward and tackle all the red tape that's in front of you. So with that being said, what I do is I really structured my coaching program to teach you how to literally go from point A to point B in building, scaling, and growing your business. So we go through, when you talk about working with insurance companies, it is great not to work with insurance companies, but it's great to work with. Say it again.
Why is that? Why is it great not to? Because I hear a lot of. I even heard a doctor. She was a pediatric doctor. She's like, yeah, I don't work with insurance companies. Why is it great not to work with insurance companies?
Okay, so it's great to not work with insurance companies, because once you sign up for an insurance company, you work for them. You're not in private practice. You do not work for yourself. You work for the insurance company, even though the private practice have your business name on it. But if you're taking insurance from Blue Cross Blue Shield, you work for Blue Cross Blue Shield. So when you decide that you do not want to see clients anymore, you have to literally read your contract that you signed with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it's going to tell you when you can stop seeing clients. You just cannot stop seeing clients because you don't want to see clients with Blue Cross Blue Shield no more. You signed a contract. Also, they're going to tell you how much they're going to pay you. Again, you're not setting your own fees. You're getting what they told you they're going to pay you. Then if you want to raise, you have to write them a letter and say, hey, well, I've been here this long, working, been a provider for you for this long. This is what I specialize in, and X, Y, this is my expertise, in order to see if they're going to give you a raise. And they don't have to give you a raise. They just keep you at the level that you signed in at. So those are some very good reasons of why, you don't want to work for an insurance company. But if you do work for an insurance company, the benefit is you're going to always get referrals, because they're going to always bring you the referrals. They're going to have you in their provider directory. You can always guarantee your caseload to be almost full, because why? You're going to constantly get referrals because you take that insurance. And you can guarantee your payment. A lot of times you don't have to worry about getting paid, because the insurance company is going to cut you your payment. If they do mess up on your payments, you can easily track it and figure out why, what happened, and rebill it, resubmit it, and get paid. But when you're working for yourself, you don't get that opportunity to go back and try and get your money back. You can try, but a lot of times they're not going to pay you your prices. A lot of times your prices have to be what they are. And once you set your prices, it has to stay what it is in order for you to really see a profit. You can't go back and finagle, because this person don't have all the money at this time. A lot of people who do not take insurances, they do self-pay, and they will set their business up on payment plans. So maybe they'll give you 5 sessions for $500, or maybe you get 6 months of sessions for a set price. So they use systems like that in order to try to sustain as a self-pay based rate, but again, when you're working for the insurance company, it's good to work for them because you can guarantee you may get referrals, you can guarantee you're going to get some money, don't get paid, but at the same time, you're not working for yourself. You're not in private practice. You're actually working for another company. It might not be the community service board, but it's the insurance company that you're working for.
Let me ask you this. So it sounds kind of scary. I ain't gonna even lie. It sounds a little scary because I look at as an entrepreneur myself. Okay, someone said this is powerful. I gotta pop this comment up there for you, girl. Somebody watching you, they said this is powerful. As a small business owner myself, I think for me, I would be leaning towards, well, I need to work with the insurance company because they're gonna send me the referrals, right? However, what's the difference between the pay? So I know if I'm a therapist, I could charge $150. What does a typical insurance pay to the therapist when you're in a contract with them? Like, what's the difference between?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, Audrey. The insurance companies, they pay each provider a different rate, and so they also made it where it's unethical for us to talk about what rate we get. So we can't talk about that to another therapist and say, well, Blue Cross pay me this, what they pay you. They don't want us to do that at all. And again, That's because that therapist might have wrote a letter and got her pay increased or whatever the case may be. So the rates are always different. The thing I want to explain to you about the insurance, though, if you go to a therapist and she takes insurance and say you have Blue Cross Blue Shield and they say, well, your copay is $20. And so Blue Cross Blue Shield may pay that therapist for you to go see that therapist $50. So what's happening is that Blue Cross Blue Shield is only going to pay that therapist $30 because you are supposed to give the therapist the other $20. So that is why a lot of therapists won't see you until you pay your copay first, because they know that's the only way they can get the whole $50 in the first place, because the insurance company is only going to give them $30. The client is supposed to pay the other $20. When you're dealing with, so that's how that copay or that co-insurance work. And sometimes the deductible, it'd be like that as well.
So that's the only money you get from the insurance company. The money. Wow. So that's what I was trying to figure out. So right now, listen, guys, this is what I think I heard you say. As a private self-pay practitioner, you can charge $150 for that session. If you are in bed with the insurance company, you're going to get $50 because that's what the co-insurance is. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
So if you work with the insurance company, you're going to get whatever the contracted rate is that you signed up with. Right. So that contracted rate may be just $50 because I'm on this panel with this insurance. But if I do my self-pay and they don't have that insurance, and I'm charging $150. But, because I just started off and I was just trying to hurry up, I might have jumped on my insurance panels and just took whatever they gave me. And they only going to give me $50 per session. So the $50 per session, meaning that if that client, her plan with that insurance company, make her have a $20 copay, another client may have a $10 copay. That means from the insurance company, I'm only going to get $30 from one person for seeing that one person. I'm going to get $40 from seeing that other person. So that's why a lot of times is therapists like, well, I just don't want to deal with the insurance. I'm just going to charge what I'm charging. And, and that's great. But when you charge what you're charging, you have to understand that you have to be niched down. You just cannot be out here as I'm a licensed professional counselor. I see everybody. You don't do that because that's not going to get you that $150. That's not going to make that client sign up with you because they can see anybody, a generic therapist, using their insurance card. So when you want to really be a standout, be visible, be confident, and be competent in your private practice, in your business, you have to literally understand how you niche down. How do you represent yourself? How do you come out here and you tell people who you serve and how you serve? Okay, so what I love to do is take people that I coach, mental health clinicians, and teach them how to get money into their practice other than seeing clients, other than doing the self-pay seeing clients, other than being on an insurance panel. Now, I teach you about that as well, but I'm really going to show you how to make money in your private practice in the name of mental health, because you are an expert, and it's not going to be because you're sitting in front of people's face. You know, like the lady you said, her coaching program. I'm going to show you how to create a coaching program. I'm going to show you how to become visible in the name of mental health. Like, you are the expert in mental health. You have done so much work as far as going to school, working for other people. It's time for people to really see how you are visible, who you are, and your confidence level that rises when you start to show yourself. And I really teach you how to be competent in the business of counseling and how to grow your mental health practice.
So let me ask you this, because for me, I've been in this space for a long time. I've been an entrepreneur for 26 years now. I think it's been so long. And I've coached people, and coaching and one-on-one can totally burn you out. And that's pretty hard to scale, right? So when you think about clinicians, they mostly do one-on-one. What are some of the ways that they can scale? So now they can kind of remove themselves from the equation so they can kind of scale. Because it's hard to scale me. Like, I was talking to someone yesterday, and she was like, she has a security company, and it's, even though she can scale it because she can hire people, she still runs the company. So she's all hands in. And we were both talking about, man, it's hard for us because even though the company has employees, we run the company. How can a clinician scale when it's just them?
So the reality of it is, for one, you have to understand that in order to be successful, you have to have a team. It's a team effort. It's not something that you do by yourself. So I wanted to scale, so I had to have a team. I had to start delegating. I had to, because in order to make it happen, I can't do everything. So what I teach the clinicians, that I teach them, like, for one, we're going to automate some stuff. We're going to use some real systems and real strategies that's already been proven and have came with good receipts. So we're going to use these systems. My main system is called VCC, Visibility, Confidence, and Competence in Business. And so, again, I teach them how to go out here and do, first of all, it's all about passive product. When we sit up and just do this one-on-one, that's not passive product. Passive product is, what can we get while we sleeping? How can we make that bank increase while we sleeping? So the first thing I started doing with women and men that come into the coaching program is I empower them by giving them the actual tools. Let me give you this tool and show you, like, this right here is going to add value to your practice. So one thing I do is they create a journal. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to create a signature workshop. When I say a signature workshop, that workshop belongs to you. Not only can we going to create a signature workshop, we're going to make that signature workshop a CE workshop. Yes, a continuing education workshop where it'll be approved by NBCC. I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. And the reason I do this is because instead of that one-on-one, let's have a workshop where you can have multiple people and you can teach them and you can get paid from that. Now let's have a workbook to go with that workshop. Now let's turn that workshop into a CE workshop. Now you got a different audience that you can target. And again, multiple people that comes. Now you also have a journal. The journal, again, another passive product. And I continue to go on and create more passive products. And I give them all the tools to do that, because that is how you actually become successful. It's not by doing this one-on-one. And we always want to do our caseloads, but when I talk to them about their caseloads to help them become successful and so they can have time to focus on passive products, it starts to realize, what is your real schedule? So I make them schedule like a boss and stop all this work and reschedule. Stop all this 8 and 9 people a day, back to back, answering phone calls, whatever. I start to make them understand, just like Walmart, we open and we close at a certain time. And the right people will show up at your times. But you have to be consistent. Go ahead.
You talking, right? And I'm sitting here saying to myself, heck, I need to create a CE program. I'm not even a therapist. I need to create a CE program. Like, wait a minute now. Let me tell you something interesting. When you said that, it brought this up to mind. I got a meeting tomorrow with someone from Udemy. So I don't know if you've heard of Udemy, but you
I
can go
have.
on Udemy and take any kind of course you want to. So the young lady asked me, she said, why don't you put your podcast course on Udemy? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, because I take Udemy courses. Those courses like $12. Like I'm charging $197, like $12. But she was telling me, they push people to the training. And I was like, so it sounds like the insurance company almost, right? And I'm like, ooh, yeah, okay, because I know I got 21 courses sitting in my learning library that I bought from Udemy, and thousands of people. But as you were talking about the CE credits, I'm thinking, well, heck, can I take my course and turn it into a CE credit?
Yes,
So
you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And that's
wow.
what I really literally focus on. When people come into my coaching program, we focus on literally how to build, scale, and grow your business. So I'm
Mhm.
not just, I'm making sure that you have a blueprint for your business, like you have a standard operation and procedures, you're going to have that, but you also going to understand how to literally grow your business without you sitting in somebody's face every day in the name of mental health. You're going to use already all of your expertise, and we're going to make them payable where somebody can click and buy. That's because that's what's up. That's how you have to literally try and literally build your business, scale it and grow it. It's not about you making appointments and seeing people one-on-one. That's not how we do it, and that is why I literally wanted to create this. Well, I created this challenge that's about to start next. I start advertising for it next week, and it's called the Bio Challenge. And a lot of professionals, what we don't have is a professional resume. A professional resume that's less than 200 words. So what we're going to do is write a professional resume in 47 words or less. Okay. And so what I'm doing is teaching mental health clinicians how to write a professional bio in 47 words or less. And it's only talking about who you serve and how you serve. And I'm teaching them this because I really want them to become more visible, more confident, and more competent in their business. And in order to become more visible, I get on a lot of podcasts. I do magazines. I have radio interviews. I do all of these interviews, and the majority of these interviews, they send me a form and say, send me a bio that's less than 150 words. Send me a bio that's 50 words. They would ask me for that. You have to stay ready, be ready, so you can be on top, okay? Or you're not going to make it up there. I already understand like how to write these bios and make them really talk about who you are and who you serve, not all the things that you accomplish. They don't care about that. They literally want to know who you serve and how you serve. Okay, so as a business coach, that's how I'm putting it down. I'm making sure that every mental health clinician that come around me, they understand how to speak that in 2 minutes or less. And because that is going to increase their visibility. And once we actually write them out, it increases their confidence. And then I already know the competence in the business is coming, baby, because we don't set the fire, we don't set it up. Okay.
Let me tell you something. So when I first met Glendora, y'all, she told me, she said to me, I'm not that therapist that's gonna pat you on your back, so don't come to me if that's you. That has stuck in my mind because I'm a straightforward, direct kind of person, right? And so I appreciate that. And I know that when you guys take her course, like she just gave you some knowledge right now, and my mind is already going. Like I gotta go to a big meeting like soon as we get finished. I gotta jump in the car and drive 46 minutes. But just what she just said has got me to think about, well, heck, do you know all the things I know? Like, do you know, like, I can show you how to launch a TV. I need to figure out how to put that in some kind of CE course, but for business owners who need more exposure. And so I talk about that a lot, Glendora, but there are a lot of people who are afraid to do what you're doing. There are a lot of people who are afraid to get up there and tell their stories like this. And you know how many people I talk to, and I was like, look, I can put you on. Now this is on TV. We streaming live right now, just in case you're on Roku, like right now. So we're streaming live on Roku, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. When I tell people they're going to be on TV, they freak out. And I always say, listen, if you know your stuff, you don't have to be afraid to get on these platforms and share your story, because your story can inspire others. What you have said is, they asked me for a 47-word bio. I need to give them what they asked me for. But guess what? They're going to ask you for the same thing. And if you don't know how to write that bio to make it powerful, it's just 47 words on a page. So the fact that you're training them on how to do that, I think that's, if I was a clinician, guess what I'll be doing? Taking that program, because
I
I
am
want
super excited about it too. I am.
You
because it
should.
came
It
from my
sounds
business
amazing.
card challenge. And that's how I started off my business card challenge, where we actually created a journal. But before we created a journal, I made them write this 47-word bio because I wanted that to go on the journal. And so the amazement and so many therapists say I have so much trouble writing, or when they put their bio up, they put it in the first person, and or it's all talking about all their accomplishments. And I'm like, y'all ain't gonna get on nobody's show. This is not how you do this. And so I was like, okay, let me go ahead and show you how to rewrite them. You know what? Let's make a whole challenge. And who all the therapists that's in business, if you're serious and you want to be visible, you want to improve your confidence, you want to show your competence in the business, come on, use my VCC system and get your 47-word bio on and popping and start living a legacy that you can see right now and proud of. That's
See,
what
that's
we're
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm. Let me tell you something. You said something about passive income. I got to tell you this, right? I'm all about passive income, and I talk about this a lot because when I started doing this show, people would say, and it was just a show to me, and I quit so many times doing podcasting because I couldn't figure out how to make money, even though I love doing it. I was like, I ain't making no money doing this. Girl, when I realized I could put all these little passive pots of money in place, you go to Good Morning Gwinnett right now, it's about 12 passive streams of income up there. And I get Amazon is great. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I get 4 or 5 payments every month from Amazon. Like bam, 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 bam. You just got multiple deposits, and they all come from Amazon. But I got other streams as well. So having a passive income is really going to help you scale your business. So I put your website up here because I
oh,
want people to
thank
reach
you.
out to you, because I feel like this is really going to help them scale. And if you are a one person practitioner, let me ask you this real quick before we go. I know we got 3 minutes. A lot of times, one of the biggest issues any business owner face, especially clinicians, is how to price their service. Do you go over that with them?
Yes, definitely. I go over everything from the rooter to the tutor, because I want you to shine. I want you to be visible. I want you to be confident when you is visible. And I want you to be competent in business. I'm serious. So I'm not trying to make you no entrepreneur or increase your entrepreneurship. I am trying to increase your business, your business mind. I am trying to help you really have a mind shift related to the business. You'll change your relationship with money. I want you to have a real relationship. Abundance is yours. It is your birthright. I want you to be around somebody who is like me, who is me, because that's how my community is. It's they're like me. They understand this is their birthright. They had to change their mindset in order to bring the riches to them. This is what we're doing, y'all. We're erasing generational curses. We're no longer keeping that stuff on us. We having a real relationship with money, and we love it because it helps us to bless others. So we go over all of that.
I think that's amazing. You have to change your mindset. It all starts between your ears. And unless you do that, you're going to be stuck right there in that same spot. So the fact that you have said, you know what, this is my industry, and I'm going to show the men and women in my industry how I get down and how I can help them do the same. So scaling and I'm sure there are people saying, I didn't know I could scale my practice. I'm positive that's the case, because when you're so locked into that one way of doing things, that's how you see it. And then you get
Mm-hmm.
burnt out, because it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to scale a business when it's just you. I want to thank you, ma'am. Thank you for reaching back out to me.
Thank you.
Listen, anytime you want to come on the show, you're very welcome. Just hit me up, Audrey. I got something to share. I want to come on the show. Now, listen. Spotlight ain't free, people. I know y'all. Let me tell you something. This guy asked me. He said, I want to get on your show, right? I said, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com, click on Step into the Spotlight. He goes, why I got to pay? Because you streaming live on TV.
Listen, let me tell you why we got to pay, because we got a real mission to put out here. We got a real story to put out here. And if you're serious about your story, then you invest in yourself so it can be out here, because that little pennies that you invest will come back to you tenfold. This is not. It's not about and how you not going to pay. You're paying to put us out here. You're paying to get up every day to make sure the streaming and stuff how you put us out here. That's not free. So it's supposed to be like that. And that's part of that broken mindset. You see what I'm saying? That's part of that broken mindset. No, I invest in you, Miss Audrey. I did. I invested in
You sure
myself.
did. You sure did.
God is gonna bless us both.
That's right.
It's coming to us. I'm in the midst of it. So
That's right.
I know you're supposed to give. Y'all supposed to give. Y'all support yourself so it can come back to you.
That's right. And you know, a lot of times people just don't want to invest. Like they don't, let me tell you something. My husband would tell, because he has been my biggest support system for the last 20 years when it comes to this entrepreneur thing. And he know I'll be looking at like, okay, I got this $100 here. Am I gonna go to dinner? Am I gonna put it in some kind of marketing? Right. And marketing wins every single time, no matter when it is, you know. So you have to invest in yourself. Listen, if you are a clinician out there struggling, you know you struggle, you know you're tired, you're burnt out, you're confused, you don't know what to do, you're trying to make ends meet, you don't want to work with the insurance company anymore. Hit the girl up. She's telling you, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you scale this business. I'm gonna help you create a new mindset. You got to make the investment. Take the money from the insurance company, go pay her and learn what you got. Skip the line. I had a guy, and I got to end because it's 11:01. I'm supposed to be gone. I had this guy, right? He said to me, I want to launch a podcast, right? I think at that time I was only charging $97 for the course. He came back and said, well, why would I pay you $97 for the course when I can get it online for free? I said, because you want to skip the line.
See, don't reinvent the wheel.
Line, baby. You paying to skip the line because here's the thing. You can go out there and look at all you want, but unless you come and talk to somebody who's doing it, you don't know what they know. So you can read and research and Google and do all you want. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But if you truly want to skip the line and get your practice off the ground and scale, take the course, make the investment, give up the Jimmy Choos this week, okay? Give up Fendi because Fendi already paid. Give up Louis, he paid too. Invest in yourself. Glendora
And the
Dvine.
challenge is free. The bio challenge that I'm about to do is free. So just stay connected with me and you'll get it. If you get the website, you'll see the challenge and you can register. It's free. I am here trying to show you I'm for real what I'm doing. All right.
Let me pop that up on YouTube real quick so everybody can see it. YouTube, Facebook again. Glendora Dvine, thank you very much. Keep up the great work that you're doing for people. And anytime you want to come back, darling, just hit me up.
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Listen, guys, that's all I got for you today. I'll be back again Monday at 10 a.m. No, I don't have a guest on Monday, but you can listen to the streaming audio and get your horoscopes. You know I do the horoscopes every day. So check us out. I'll be back again. Y'all stay safe out there. Have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.